Sex robot molested at electronics festival, creators say. This is a headline from the Huffington Post from a couple of days ago, and this was reported throughout quite a lot of the media, and a couple of people have already made videos about this and uploaded them to YouTube, but I'd rather cover it the way I want to cover it. Anyway, just under that headline, it says, this is in quotation marks, it's from one of the engineers who created the sex bot, because they did not understand the technology and did not have to pay for it, they treated the doll like barbarians. This has been penned by David Moy, so let's have a little look at this. And he starts his article off by declaring, "This is why we can't have nice things." I have absolutely no idea what the hell that's supposed to mean. The man behind an intelligent sex robot named Samantha says the kinky creation needs to be repaired thanks to barbarians at a tech industry festival. Engineer Sergi Santos of Barcelona, Spain, wanted to show off Samantha at the Arts Electronica Festival in Linz, Austria last week. The rowdy robot is programmed with artificial intelligence so that she responds to gentle seduction. Well, a couple of things there, I think. Artificial intelligence. Well, exactly. It's that in itself, at this moment in time, till these things can actually think for themselves rather than just responding with pre-programmed responses, then artificial intelligence is an oxymoron, a misnomer, just contradiction in terms. And if she does give the impression of being intelligent, then that's only because she's been programmed by men. Otherwise, she'd sound as dopey as the average bloody woman. Anyway, Samantha seemingly gets more aroused the more she's romanced. What are these guys doing? I've read so many articles about how women want to be romanced. She's a sex doll. She is there to be fucked, put in a cupboard, or fucked and cleaned, put in a cupboard. Okay, that's her job, for sex. So they developed one that wants to be romanced. That didn't happen at the festival. Instead, Samantha was molested and seriously damaged by attendees. Well, if she was seriously damaged, I'm sorry about that, but she wasn't molested. You can't molest a robot. You can't molest a robot any more than you can molest a doll or a radiator or a fucking table. Anyway, the people mounted Samantha's breasts, her legs and arms. 2 fingers were broken. She was heavily soiled. Oh, dear God. I don't know what that word is. I don't even know how to pronounce the thing. Butt cake? Bukkake? I don't even know. But she sounds like she was subjected to multiple bloody orgasms from multiple men. Do we have any footage of this is what I'm wondering. Anyway, people can be bad, he said. Because they did not understand the technology and did not have to pay for it, they treated the doll like barbarians. Okay, did that at the beginning. Even though Samantha's breasts and some other body parts were badly damaged by the sex-crazed Austrian horde. Give me a bloody break. Sex-crazed Austrian horde. Like I say, do we have footage? The AI software in the robot still worked perfectly. When Santos asked the doll, "How are you?" she responded, "Hi, I'm fine." This is according to the Daily Star. Okay, so she's fine. She's had her breasts mounted and men have soiled her and they've even broken bloody fingers. She's fine. She sounds really slutty to me. And it occurs to me that if she was really intelligent, then with all that damage done to her, when he asked her, "How are you?" shouldn't she have said, "Well, actually, I'm not feeling very good. I've just been molested by loads of guys. And I agree with feminists that no always means no. And I wish to file multiple complaints with the Austrian police. And I wish you to take me there right now. And if you don't, I'm going to start screaming rape at the top of my voice." Fuck. She's a fucking robot. Anyway, it continues. That gave the inventor cause for hope. She's programmed to speak like this. What is wrong? Samantha, this is what he said. Samantha can endure a lot. She will pull through. He's making it sound like a victim, like a real bloody person. Anyway, Aaron Lee Squire, a British engineer who helped Santos develop Samantha, told the Daily Post he believes the robot should be treated like a lady. Okay, now Aaron Squire has done an interview on British TV. I only know about this, I don't have a TV, but I saw the video on YouTube when I did a little research into this. It has over 2 million views. So I'll give you the title of the video first of all. That's if you want to have a look at it. It's a 6-minute plus long interview. Quite fascinating actually, I found it. Holly, and this is the title, Holly and Philip Meet Samantha, the Sex Robot. And that's a program called This Morning. Anyway, Samantha was there in the studio. There was the guy, this Aaron Squire, and he was talking about, and this is a guy who has young children, and he said that his children talk to the doll, that he sits her on the couch, and that if they go somewhere in the car and the robot isn't there, they ask, where's Samantha? And, you know, this sounds weird. And they're sex dolls, that's what they're there for. And his wife was in the studio. She wasn't part of the interview. They had the obligatory feminist, I don't know, psychologist or whatever there to, you know, say how bad it was. And but his wife was sort of at the side of the set. And the people conducting the interviews, the interview revealed that he has sex with her. Okay, fair enough. And then they asked his wife off to the side how she felt, and she didn't care. She was fine with it. And they gave the impression that they were having 3 ways with this bloody thing. Anyway, it finishes almost. I think people have just become overexcited and treated her like a sex doll. She isn't a sex doll, he insisted. She is a robot with AI. No, she is a sex doll. She is not a lady. And anyway, Santos shipped Samantha in a box back to Barcelona for repairs. Well, that's no way to treat a lady. He's put her in a box. Surely you should buy her a ticket for a plane, or take her a romance her, take her all the way from Austria on a first-class train journey or something like that, and stop off in Gay Paris and whatnot. I mean, what the fuck? Oh, the Daily Star reports he has sold 15 versions of her at about $4,000 a pop. Well, if he thinks that she's so real, he sounds like a bloody trafficker to me all of a sudden. I mean, he's not. He's just selling dolls and he's making a profit. And he's talking about her all emotionally. Anyway, he mentions Barcelona, and that reminded me of an article that I read earlier on this year in the Sunday Express in March. And I'll read you a little bit of that. And this is where prostitutes in Barcelona, there was a brothel set up with these sex robots, these female bots, and the prostitutes were outraged by it because it was taking loads of business away from them, and it was driven under pressure to a different location. Anyway, I'll read you a little bit of that and then finalise. I'll leave links to both of the articles, and I'll stick them in the comment section and pin them to the top. The headline of this one is Europe's first sex robot brothel forced out of base as prostitutes claim of competition. This is by John Rogers and Maria Ortega. So let's have a brief look at what this says. The original location in Barcelona at 2 Balsag I can't read it, had been in the Spanish city's Gothic quarter north of the cathedral. But the brothel, not far from La Rambia, in the heart of the city, has now moved to a mystery new location with a receptionist saying the address would only be given out to paying customers. Prostitutes who work in the city with APROSEX, the Association of Sex Professionals, objected, saying a doll cannot match the services of a real person and denigrates real sex workers to merely being an object. Well, you know, the customer is always right, and if the customer wants to fuck a doll as opposed to a woman, then that's their right. And I don't think they have any business running these people out of the city or to another location. Anyway, you can read the whole article if you like, but I'll just finalise by saying that a quote from these prostitute people who support these prostitutes: "They do not listen to you or caress you. They do not comfort you or look at you. They do not give you their opinion." Well, thank fuck for that. Maybe that's why these guys are going to these dolls instead of even the prostitutes, because they don't give you an opinion because they don't fucking have one. And that reminds me of an article I saw earlier on this week, and it was, I think it was, the title was "The 10 Reasons Why Guns Are Better Than Women," and one of the reasons was you can't put a silencer on a woman, so they don't have opinions and they only speak if they're spoken to. And that just reminds me, just before I do finish, that this guy Aaron, whatever his name was, in the studio. Oh no, it was actually the interviewer. The male interviewers said you can switch them on and off, because when he first encountered the doll in the studio, she was switched off, and they didn't even have her switched on when she was sitting on the couch in the studio. They didn't have her switched on because she might say something not appropriate for morning TV. So she's been programmed like a little bit of a slut, it sounds like to me. Anyway, thank you very much if you got this far. Cheers.